Hi everyone, my name is Tori, this is Note Life, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have some secret relationship romance recommendations to share with you. So this is actually one of my favorite things to read, but it's one of those things where you don't really go looking for it. It's not like a trope that a lot of people market their books as, where we have our characters that have to keep their relationship a secret for reasons, and that reason gets everything more complicated with their relationship and with the story, and it adds this angst to the story that you weren't expecting. With all that being said, I have a lot to talk about, so let's just go ahead and dive right in. The first book I have to talk about is Twisted Games by Anna Huang. This is literally my favorite book out of the whole Twisted series. I think this is actually my favorite book Anna Huang has ever written, and it's just because they have this royal aspect with our female character and her bodyguard Reese. They have to keep their relationship a secret once it starts to come up, and it's something that you don't really expect to absolutely fall in love with. Like, honestly, Reese is a character where you just love him right from the start. You love everything he does for Bridget. You love everything, you love how broody he is, how grumpy he is, all of that. But then once you start to figure out he has feelings for her and all of the things that he does for her, it just takes it to the next level for me. Literally takes it to the next level. I don't know what it was. I am dying to reread this book. It's been a very long time since I've read it the first time, and I actually physically read all of these books. I haven't listened to the audio, so I'm dying to reread it. But let me just tell you, I don't know what it is. I don't know what Anna put in this book. It doesn't seem like a very long book, but there was so much that happened and so much I fell in love with. Obviously, they have to keep their relationship a secret because she is part of the royal family in this, I forgot what it was. She's a princess of this country that kind of Anna made up. Oh, what's that Anne Hathaway movie? Princess Diaries? It's basically kind of like that. And then you have Reese, who is her bodyguard. And obviously because of that, they cannot be together. Royal families have to either marry someone that the royal family picks and approves of, and it has to be someone of high ranking order, or it has to be for a political gain, for a gain for the country. So obviously Reese does not fit into that category, him being her bodyguard. But let me tell you, it is so good. There is a scene in a gazebo. It is spicy too. I love Reese. I absolutely love Reese and Bridget's story. I could talk about this book forever, but this is just one that's, when I immediately thought of secret relationships, I immediately thought of this book, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The next book I have is Iced Out by C.E. Ricky, so I have recommended this book quite a bit, but I love it because not only is it forbidden, because they're literally trying to keep their relationship a secret from not only their teammates, but anyone else on the college. They try to have secret times where no one knows where they are, no one knows what's going on, and it is so good. So it starts off with this very much hate to enemies to lovers kind of thing. It's borderline hate, borderline enemies. They're a little bit of both, you know what I mean? So with this book, you have our two main male characters. They both play on the same hockey team now. They both play on the same hockey team, and it's one of those things where they've been enemies their whole lives. So they've played on opposite teams growing up, but now they're in the same college. They play on the same team. They're kind of literally forced to get along. And during a house party, basically, they kind of have this one moment in the bathroom. And then after that, they start winning their games. And they're very superstitious of that. And they're we have to keep doing this. We have to keep doing this if we want to keep winning our games. If you don't know, as hockey players, well, any sports player, they're very superstitious. So if they have one thing that starts to work, they're going to continuously do that. And that's basically what happens. So anytime they go away, they try to get in the same room as teammates, and everyone's but you hate each other. They know they hate each other. Everyone knows they hate each other. But they're no, we're working it out. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. I will say with C.E. Ricky's writing, and I've said this before, it's either you get super spicy stuff, which this book is very much spicy, hate to love, enemies to lovers aspect with that secret relationship stuff, or it's very emotional. This one is just on the spice scale, pretty high up there in my opinion, and I really, really enjoyed it. If you're looking for a hockey MM romance, this is it. C.E. Ricky does MM romances really well in my opinion, but I really love this one. The next one I have to talk about is classic. Come on, it's a classic, and that's Praise by Sarah Kate. So not only is this a secret relationship because they're trying to obviously keep their relationship a secret from his business partners and stuff like that, but also because he, Emerson, our female character Charlie's ex-boyfriend's dad. So the whole reason why they even meet is because obviously our female character Charlie breaks up with her boyfriend, and they're kind of cleaning out their apartment. They're getting rid of it. So they have to break their lease, and to get that money back that they put into it, it was in Emerson's name. He co-signed the apartment. So she goes to his house and is hey, I'm here for the money. He thinks she is his new sub, dom sub type of a thing. So he's like, if you want this money, get on your knees. And she's like, okay, I guess. So she does. And he's like, I made a big mistake once he realizes what's going on. But he offers Charlie a job to kind of work with him, be his assistant. Obviously, that stems into this very interesting, I wouldn't say BDSM relationship because it's not that, but it's dom sub. She explores her limits with things, and Emerson is there to kind of help it. Obviously, Emerson is one of the owners of the Salacious Players Club, which is technically a kink club. So, there's that aspect that Ig is thrown in there. This is the first book in the Salacious Players Club series, and it's my favorite out of the whole series so far, of all the books that are out. I don't know what it was about this book, but I love Emerson. It is a perfect balance between Charlie figuring out what she likes sexually, Emerson figuring out things. Yes, there is a big age gap, but it is so good, and the romance is so good. Like, the love that Emerson feels for Charlie is so much there, and that secret relationship does come up. There is consequences because of that, and it comes up at the end of the book, and I really liked it. Another one of my favorites is Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. So Pam Godwin is known to write a lot of dark romances. This does have some darker elements. It's more of like what happens to our female character. But I would say out of all the books that I've read by her, this is like the least dark book, which is saying something. But basically in this book, it is a teacher. He's like kind of like a professor. She's going to this specialized school. She wants to be obviously a pianist. She's going to school to be like a pianist to like further her career in that sense, not necessarily like normal high school. So it's like a little bit more of an intensive school. She has a scholarship to be there. She comes from not so great of the tracks. This book does take place in Louisiana and New Orleans, which I absolutely love. If you know me, I grew up right outside of New Orleans, and I love any book that takes place there. And this was just so cool because they do go around the city, the good and the bad parts of the city. And it really does show kind of a lot of things that happen in the city and how like one street over things can go like absolutely crazy. But the whole secret relationship stems from him having a past kind of with this. I don't want to say too much, but they have a past. He has a past with this happening, and he's like, this can't happen again. Very much age gap, very much secret. Obviously, she has reasons for wanting to keep it a secret, but he has like the most reasons because he's like the professor, the teacher, all of this stuff. He basically takes her underneath his wing in a lot of different ways and teaches her a lot of things in both sides of that. So love this one. Definitely check it out. Another book I have is Keep Her Safe by QB Tyler. This is QB Tyler's newest release, and it's a bodyguard romance. I obviously have a thing for bodyguard romances, and I really, really enjoyed this one. It's very spicy. QB Tyler is not going to be for everyone, and I totally understand that, but this one is extremely spicy, and it's something I absolutely loved. Absolutely loved. So we see our female character. She is basically coming out of this 10-year career on this one TV show that she's played the same character, like I said, for 10 years. And she's kind of like trying to figure out where she wants to go, but she finds her boyfriend of 2 or 3 years cheating on her. She goes to surprise him. He's also a very famous actor. And, her PR company is like, you need to stay with him for reasons. You have Oscar talk, this talk, that talk, all these things. What are you going to do with your career? You can make connections. And she's like, but I hate him. He cheated on me. Like, I saw it with my own eyes. And her bodyguard, Damien, has been her bodyguard since her parents passed away. He just couldn't leave her. You see his thoughts later on in the book of like reasons why. But when I tell you the secretiveness needs to like stay there, it's because like all of these things, all of these different reasons and aspects come into play. They both have their reasons for wanting to keep it secret. But I will say, I don't like romantic suspense. This is QB Tyler's kind of like first attempt at doing that. And I actually really enjoyed it. They had this like stalker aspect of someone stalking her, and that came up, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. I was actually pleasantly surprised as someone who doesn't like romantic suspense. I think QB Tyler did it really well. And the last one I have is Weightless by Candy Steiner. I actually just read this book and I really, really enjoyed it. So I didn't realize, I think this is Candy Steiner's first book that she's ever published. It was published back in 2016. And let me tell you, I was blown away by how emotional and how deep this book was. I know that Candy Steiner can write super emotional things. She's done it before, and it's some of my favorite works. But this one like takes a very interesting path, I guess, of the story. It's more about our female character and her journey of her body changing, growing up. You see her, she's right out of high school, just graduated. She's taking the summer off. She doesn't know what she wants to do with life. And her boyfriend breaks up with her. And it's because she is it's described that she's a thick girl, like a plus size girl, and she never really thought about that before, but and everyone's like picking fun at her, especially her ex's new girlfriend. So that really, really gets to her. So her mom suggests, why don't you go to the country club? Her family, like her stepdad kind of owns the town. He's very, very, very famous person in the town, like their whole family is. And she goes to the country club, starts working out, and that's where she meets her personal trainer. And she starts to feel something for them. And it's actually a very interesting relationship that kind of comes from it. And I didn't really understand it at first of what Candy Steiner was trying to do, but I absolutely fell in love with the story. Like, I was dying to pick up this book at night and continue reading it. I only had like an hour or two every night to read, but I was so looking forward to it. And this whole secret relationship thing is because he has his reasons for wanting to keep it secret, because obviously that's his client, but also he doesn't want it to get out because he has other things going on in his personal life, and she doesn't want to either because she doesn't want her parents to kind of like disapprove of him, but it's him more than her that wants to keep it a secret. And it's kind of just for her. It's a relationship that she doesn't even want to tell her best friend. She wants to keep it to herself because she's growing and evolving, and he's like part of that journey with her. And I really, really enjoyed it. I feel like this is an underrated book by Candy Steiner, so I'm kind of going through her backlist, and I'm so happy that I am because I really loved it. But those are all of my secret relationship romance recommendations I have to share with you. Drop me the hush emoji, like the emoji that's doing this, because I feel like that's very fitting for this video. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.